Hey everyone, welcome to the 5th lesson in the Understanding WordPress Post Metabox course. In this lesson, we're going to clean up a little bit of the work that we did in the last one, lay the foundation for the work that we're going to do throughout the remainder of this course, and we're going to talk about the features of the plugin that we're going to be developing. So let's jump right into it. The first thing we want to do is launch our IDE. From here, we want to make sure that we're in the 2013 root directory. And then in the functions file, we want to remove the call to custom post metabox.php. Next, we want to hop into the inc directory and then delete that file as well. Now, we're ready to begin working on our plugin. So what we'll do is return to the WP content directory and then double click on plugins. We'll create a new folder and we will call it custom post metabox. And then within this directory, we'll also create a new file called custom post metabox.php. This is where our plugin is going to live. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, there are a few things that are required in writing WordPress plugins. This course is not a tutorial on how to build WordPress plugins. So there's a few things I'm going to show you, and it's just the necessary things that we need to make sure that we're up and running to get our functionality implemented into WordPress. And we're going to start with the plugin header. So let's go ahead and open a PHP tag, and then let's hop over to the WordPress codex. Okay, once you're here, you'll notice that there's a table of contents off to the right. And if you hop down to file headers, you'll see exactly what it is that you need at the top of your plugin. So we can literally copy and paste this into our code. From here, let's fill out the name of the plugin. We'll call it Custom Post Metabox. The plugin URI can be anything you want it to be. It can be a link to your website. It can be a link to where your project's going to live. It can be a link to a random page on your blog. I'm going to simply put my URL in, and then I'm going to give a brief description of the plugin. I'll say that demonstrates how to implement a custom post metabox in WordPress. And then the version that we're going to have is 1.0.0. That'll be the final version that we have by the end of this course. We'll incrementally work up to that. The name of the author would obviously be your name. In my case, it's Tom McFarlane, and the address or the URI to my site is tommcfarlane.com. Finally, this will be under the GPL2, so we'll leave it at that. At this point, let's save our work. We'll hop back into the browser, and then we will return to the plugins menu. And we should see custom post metabox available. It should have the description that we've provided. It should have a link to our name and a plugin URL, as well as a version. Now we can activate it, and permitting you have everything in the header specified correctly, it'll say plugin activated, and there should be no errors output. Of course, we haven't actually written any code. Therefore, nothing is actually going to happen. So at this point, I think it's a good time for us to talk about the features that we're going to be implementing in our plugin. So for our custom post metabox, we're going to have a single line description. This is kind of like a vision statement or a mission statement, and it's really important so you know how to describe to people what this plugin is going to do. Allows editors to attach MP3s to their posts and make them available for readers to download. Now, here are the requirements. First, in our metabox, we know that we need an input field. This field is going to be responsible for accepting the MP3 file. Next, we know that we're going to need to check the file type. That is, we don't want to allow images, documents, etc. to make it through. We only want to support MP3s. After that, we need to have the ability to display an error if an incorrect file is uploaded. On the other hand, we want to be able to display a success message if a correct file is uploaded. And if we have a success message, then we want to display a link to the file in the custom metabox as well as on the associated post. And that's it. Now there's a few things that we're going to need to cover throughout the remainder of this course as we build this plugin, Specifically, we're going to need to talk about some security. We're going to need to talk about how to upload files. We're going to be writing some CSS to make sure that our error messages and our success messages look good. We're going to need to talk about post meta, and we're going to need to talk about validating input so that it's secure and validating the input when it's retrieved. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be wrapped up in this. It's not just about creating meta boxes. So by the time that we cover everything, you should have a really well-rounded foundation for writing WordPress related functionality. But in the meantime, these are our requirements. Lastly, to give a clearer picture as to what this plugin is going to do, let's hop over to the All Posts page, and then we'll click on Edit Hello World since that's what we've been using. And what this plugin is going to do is introduce a new meta box along the side that will allow the editor to have an input field. They'll be able to browse for MP3s, and then when this post is saved, it will automatically upload the file and then attach it to the post. From there, on the post, we will be able to see a link to the MP3 at the bottom of the post. They'll also have the ability to, of course, delete the MP3 or unattach the MP3. So, given what we've learned last time, I think it's okay to go ahead and proceed with beginning to implement our basic meta box. So click on Edit Post in the browser, and then minimize the browser and return to your IDE. From here, let's go ahead and create a function called cpmb underscore add metabox. Remember, you always want to prefix your plugin's functions with a unique prefix so that they do not collide with other plugins or themes. In our case, we're going to use cpmb underscore. That corresponds to custom post metabox. Okay, from here, you can see that I've stubbed out the code that's necessary in order to get a metabox to appear. Within my cpmb add metabox function, I've made a call to add metabox. I've also passed in several parameters, and I've also commented the code so that you're aware of everything that's going on within the context of the plugin. Specifically, I'm giving the ID of the metabox cpmb audio. I'm giving the title of the metabox add MP3 because eventually that's what we're going to be doing. I also named the function that is responsible for rendering the markup, cpmb display metabox, and you can see that that's down here. However, it just has a to-do, as we'll work on that later. Next, we're only going to be displaying this on post pages. We want this to appear on the side, and we want this to appear around the core level of metaboxes. We don't want it above publish, we don't want it below everything, so we're going to put it at core. Finally, I've hooked it into the add metaboxes function. I will save. I will return to my browser and refresh the page. Permitting that the plugin is active, I should be able to scroll down, and there is my add MP3 metabox. Now, we've got the foundation laid. Now, this is a good place to stop because we have introduced the foundation for the plugin. We've got something working. We know what we need to build, and we will be introducing functionality over the next few lessons. So I can't wait to get started, and I will see you in the next lesson.